So we have this already set up. So what we are doing here now is we are whatever cash is gonna be available after discretionary payments, we have to make it clear here. First of all, we will just trying to undo this conditional formatting. So in this case, we'll just go Alt HLN for new rule. Then we go to where we can undo the conditional formatting, and then make sure we're referencing it to this cell. Make sure that it's not anchored, so it's gonna be equal to a blank. So we're saying that if the cell is equal to a blank, we just want to change the color to be whatever color we want. The color that, or the gray color there, you can click OK, just like that. Okay, now going forward, to now account for the cash available for discretionary payment is gonna be equal to So in this case, we can just format this again. Go Alt H LN for new row. So if it's this cell is equal to a blank, then we want the formatting to be gray, and we also want the font to be black. In this case, we will just make it black. So it's gonna be equal to, so we have that set up there. So for the cash available for discretionary payment, we'll set it to be equal to if the cash here available is greater than 0, then give me a 1. Otherwise, give me a 0. Close the bracket and you press enter. So we can copy this, Alt ESF, paste as formulas. As you can see, in the first year, it says no, there is no cash available. So we have that conditional formatting kicking in here. And for the rest of the years, it says years, and we have the conditional formatting responding here as well. So in the first year, for now, there is no cash available for discretionary payments. So going forward, we will assign our cash sweep amount as usual to be equal to, so the cash sweep amount is 100%. We have it set up there to pay for any cash available for discretionary payments. And then we know that this private equity borrowed roughly $36 million, which has to be paid off. So the opening balance is equal to the prior period's closing. We have that set up, and then for the required repayment, it's going to be equal to, take the minimum of whatever amount was borrowed. So we are depleting that amount by our loan amortization of 1%. So we know that even to the end of the 7th year, not everything is going to be paid. So we will just reference that, and then or the minimum cash balance. So that's the mandatory repayment here. So we are taking the minimum of the amount that will be paid as a result based on the loan amortization or the opening cash balance. So that's exactly what we are doing here. So we know that for the discretionary payments is going to be equal to the lesser of two things. So we take the minimum of whatever cash sweep amount. If it's for 3 times, we multiply it by the cash that is available for this to pay out this tranche of debt. So we multiply it by that cash amount, or the difference between the opening balance and the required repayment. And then we can now multiply everything by the cash available for discretionary repayment. So if that cell was yes, it says it's a 1, so it's gonna be a 1, which says yes. But if it's a no, it means there is a 0 there. So we pre-formatted the cell. you can press enter as well. So we have that set up there. So for the ending balance, it's going to be equal to use the or equals. So it's going to be the beginning, and then we deduct the required and the discretionary payment. We can take this and fill it right for the rest of the projected period. So as you can see, we have that set up there for us. So now to account for the interest rate spread, which includes our base rate plus the margin, so any benchmark, so we're gonna reference to the term loan B of roughly 700 basis points. So we take that amount, reference with F4, and then we divide it by 10,000 because we want to convert it to a percentage. So we have it set up at 7%. So these lenders will be comfortable at this base rate plus a margin plus a swap rate of approximately 7%. So we can take this base rate and then we have to add the floating rate benchmark, which in this case could be the swap rate. So we take that and add it to that floating rate benchmark, and then we also convert it to a percentage. So as you can see, that the lenders will be comfortable at approximately 7.55% as the total interest that will be paid to them as a result of taking on this debt.